to see you. Bring it in. Made it to the end twice. Congrats, dude.
Thank you.
Fucking congrats.
Thank you.
It's amazing. It's hard to do.
Yeah, it's very difficult in there, as you know.
Yeah.
Very difficult. So, you know, I'm although I did not get you know, the outcome that I ideally wanted, I'm extremely proud of myself. I'm proud of the journey as well.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much they're going to air of your kind of final speech, but you spoke a lot about like everything is meant to be. Do you want to just kind of like reiterate that? I
have been somebody who has always struggled with control. I've went through some very difficult times in my life, some very difficult heartbreaks, and I feel as if I was never in control of those things.
Yeah.
So when I came onto this season, I wanted to understand that, you know, a lot of things are not going to be in my control.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can control is how I perform, how I feel about myself, and ensuring that I'm proud of myself at the end of the day. Whether it was a win, lose, or draw, I just wanted to make myself proud. I wanted to scream my brother's name and make sure that everybody remembered not only what he meant to me, but how much this game means to me as well.
And I guess with all of that said, we have to ask some tough questions.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure one of them is, and maybe one you've already been asked, but it's about Lexus.
Yeah.
You know, do you feel that now in hindsight, you made the right decision to bring Bayleigh to that final two?
You know, on season 7, I evicted Adam. And it was in a Final Four situation, and it was one of the most difficult things I'd ever had to do in my life. But I had to do what was best for my game. This decision to take Bayleigh was extremely difficult and heartbreaking. Lexus has had my back this entire game. We have schemed, we have plotted, we have executed, and we have had each other's backs. Now, when I was proposed with this 5-person alliance, which already had a name, Hot Chocolate, and it was proposed to me by 4 black women, I would have been an idiot to think that they would not have the intentions of taking me off, picking me off before the game was finished. I started to see things and hear things. They spent all day together, whereas they would just leave me kind of off to the side to do my own thing, which obviously I'm a shark. That's what I do. That's what the fuck I do. So there were many different conversations that were had, you know, in terms of having a black female winner.
Right.
And black women staying together. And like I said in my speech, although that would have been great for the community, great for the culture, that's not good for the Big Valboski. And I had to make a decision based on who was in the jury of what my best chances were to win. And I did that. Unfortunately, it bit me in the ass, but I know that if I had brought Lexus, it would have been the same outcome.
Right. So dissecting this just a little bit. So you're thinking from a point of we've never had a female black winner.
Right.
That the 3 female black women in the jury, we're going to make sure that like a Lexus winner comes through.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
So with them in the jury, that's an automatic 3.
Right.
With Tola, the person who she bunked with, who was her #1 for majority of the game, also in the jury house. It's very difficult, you know, with Victoria going into the jury house, and you know how Victoria is. So it was very difficult knowing all these things and thinking that I had any chance against her, regardless of who played a better game.
Got it. Right.
Because, like, obviously, we're not in the house, so the edit is one thing. But I will say, like, from the edit perspective, Lexus didn't necessarily seem to have a winning chance in terms of gameplay, right? You're talking about the big moves you made, the strategies you made.
Yeah.
Did you feel that, were you afraid of any of that, or did that kind of not come into your calculation?
When you look at the 7 members of the jury, they're not very gamey.
Yeah.
They're very emotional players.
It's an emotional jury for
sure. I evicted all of Hot Chocolate. and I know that wasn't going to leave a good taste in their mouth.
Right.
So are they going to be game players that they didn't show throughout the entire season?
Right.
Or are they going to be emotional and vote to be bitter?
Right.
I evicted 3/4 of the house.
Yeah.
And I backdoored 50%.
Right.
People don't like being evicted.
Right.
It's a part of the game, but it's kind of a situation where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
True.
You play the game and you evict people, well, you're an asshole, a liar, and a betrayer. Right. But then you don't evict anybody and it's, well, you didn't do shit.
Right, you got dragged to the end.
So being an all-star and not having their backs when their backs were pinned up against the wall definitely put a bad taste in their mouth, which is ultimately why I had to make the decision I did.
Well, I want to celebrate some wins because I think you're one of the most compelling players in North America to touch this game. The way your mind works, the conversations you have, you're very intentional. There's only one other player to make it to the final 2 without being nominated. Your nomination Final 4, I don't count. It was literally for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't count that.
Yeah.
How did it feel knowing you made it all the way without touching the block? That's a huge accomplishment.
Like I said, this game is about a journey.
Yeah.
I wanted to be proud of myself at the end of the day. If I had finished, if I was eliminated 3rd, I wanted to be proud of myself.
Yeah.
Making it to final 2 consecutive seasons without ever touching the block, that's something that game players would appreciate. People who understand the show.
Yep.
And I'm very, very proud of that. Although, like I said, I didn't get the result that I wanted. But jury management is part of the game. I don't choose who they cast.
Right.
So, I did the best with what I had, and I'm proud of that.
Have you spoken to Spicy yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I kind of was looking on the stage. I didn't necessarily see an interaction.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Spicy did seem to muddy the waters of you. I get it. But in every single confessional, she was seemingly extremely loyal to bringing you to the end.
Of course. When
did you know that you had to cut Spicy? Were you always prepared to do that?
So me and Spicy came into the game as all-stars. We immediately made a final 2, and I was more than happy to honor that, win, lose, or draw, providing you treat me like a final 2.
Right. You're right at that.
Planting seeds against me, telling people that I'm targeting them is not very final 2-ish.
Right.
And had she been in power and had the ability to get votes, which she would have, she would have taken the shot. There's a big difference in our game styles.
100%.
Spicy was invited back because, well, she's a personality.
Yeah, she's a little chaotic.
I wouldn't consider her a game player.
Fair.
I was invited back solely for the gameplay.
The strategy of it all.
For the strategy, for the showmanship.
Right.
And I think that Spicy left breadcrumbs with all of her lies.
Yeah.
And I followed them like a bloodhound. I put them in my back pocket, and I made sure to remember them when the time came.
Right.
In her final moments, she had the audacity to bring up this whole hot chocolate thing.
Yeah.
Which was insane to me, but very on brand. Right. Very on brand for somebody to say these things and believe their own lies.
Yeah.
So I have no hate towards her. I did my best to make a record of amount of time spent inside the Big Brother house, amount of time having never touched the block.
Right.
And she made a record of, house guest in Canada to spend the most time in the jury house. So
yeah, she did get that record. I have to just congratulate you. Like, what you have done is truly remarkable. Yeah. But what are you ready to eat? What's your first restaurant? What are you going to drink? Like, where are you going?
I'm excited to turn up for sure. I haven't drank in 70 days.
Oh, wow.
I haven't been able to eat any of the foods I like. Somehow put on weight. Not sure how. But I guess I really was eating in there, right? So,
bored eating.
But I'm excited to get out there. I'm excited to, eat some steak, get some mashed potatoes, some gravy, au jus. You know what I'm saying? Something nice. And I'm also excited to make my first or second appearance on Thirst.
Yes.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, from Richmond Hill. We're both from Richmond Hill.
Lord Douglas of Richmond, baby.
Lord Douglas of Richmond.
Come on.
Well, that's a wrap here in the Big Brother Canada house with the Thirsty Boys.
And as we saw in that final part, HOH numbers do matter. So please hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, and quench your thirst.